Guys, it's been a while at this point and I've had time to really sit and let this set in, but so far, I gotta be honest with you, this still doesn't feel real. This really went well beyond all my wildest expectations. On June 24th of 2021, Nihal Falcom held their 40th anniversary celebration, and let me tell you, they brought the heat. Not just one, or two, or even three, but four. Literally four. They played four of my favorite songs live. And they also announced some localizations of Zero, Ao, Nayuta, and Hajimari no Kaseki, which was, it's pretty cool, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tark Talks, the news show with news that I make a show out of. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. Stick around and become old around here. We're not gonna waste too much time today. We have a few fun stories to get to, but let's start with that headliner. All jokes aside, that Falcom 40th anniversary event really did surpass all of my expectations, despite the reveals being spoiled a day early, so let's look at that. So, the Falcom 40th anniversary event was made up of just a few different types of presentations. A live concert, speeches and greetings, and reveal trailers. And yeah, you heard that right. Reveal trailers, plural. Though the Epic Game Store accidentally let the cat out of the bag on this one a day early, it was still absolutely awe-inspiring to see it in official terms. Now, I was expecting back around April we'd be getting an announcement for Hajimari no Kaseki with a late 2021 release. And when that didn't happen, I wasn't deterred, but I thought something had to be going on behind the scenes. My initial thoughts then, however, was that maybe they were trying to get the PC and Switch ports ready to go simultaneously with the PlayStation 4 version. Never would I have imagined the things they had going on was all of this. Trails from Zero announced for all platforms, which to Nisa and Falcom does not include Xbox, in fall of 2022. Then Trails to Azure, Trails into Reverie, formerly Hajimari no Kaseki, gotta say I dig the name, and The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails, otherwise known as Nayuta no Kaseki, all dropping in 2023. So some people are a little frustrated that we're going to be 2 to 3 years behind on Kaseki games again by the time Hajimari comes out, and they're a little disappointed also that Zero isn't until late next year, but I'm not really bothered on either account. I have a lot of games to catch up on in the meantime, so no new Trails games until 2022 or 2023 isn't hurting me any, and this is really the way things needed to happen. It was fairly already unreasonable for the Cold Steel arc to be getting localized from 3 onward without the context of the Crossbell arc, and from what I understand, Trails into Reverie serves as a finale to both arcs, so we really needed these out here officially before Reverie dropped. Plus, if NIS America can pull off a second big push like this down the line, then we might actually stand a chance of being fully caught up. Though there is something rather unique that's helping them with this big push this time that they might not be able to replicate as easily in the future, and that would be the Geofront. Yeah, the Geofront. The translations for Zero and Azure are not going to be new from the ground up NIS America translations, which I think we can all agree would be a pointless waste of effort considering the already fantastic fan translation the Geofront team done. So as it is, NIS America is actually working with members of the Geofront. They purchased the translation and are working with them to transplant it over to the new platforms, while likely simultaneously translating it for non-English audiences as well. Of course, this means the fan translations are no longer available for download, but that's to be expected when things get licensed like this for official sale. And though yeah, it might suck to have to wait for these games to release yet again, I am happy to see the Geofront team getting real paying work out of all of this. And for the members of the team to get to see their names in the credits of an officially released game, it has to be like a dream come true. Hopefully in all of this, new opportunities continue to come their way as well. Suffice to say, Trails fans are going to be eating good, and it's been no small joy to see the series grow the past few years, even if the fan base has turned into utter shit. Dropped my notepad. Well, that about settles it for the Kaseki news today. I'm not entirely sure yet if I'll be replaying Zero and Ao at release, as I don't typically replay JRPGs unless it's been a very long time, but I'll certainly be buying them and supporting the Western releases anyway, though I am really looking forward to Reverie and Nayuta when they drop. In the meantime, with this big gap in Trails releases, I think I'll be enjoying digging through some missed classics for a while. Now moving on, last Tark Talks we looked at E3, and of course Sony was not there, as they had their own State of Play presentation scheduled for a later date. Said later date is date now late, so let's see how they fared. So on July 8th, Sony hosted a long overdue State of Play, clocking in at around 30 minutes, roughly 10 minutes of which was focused exclusively on Deathloop. It was pretty well established beforehand this was going to be just indies and Deathloop for the most part, so my expectations weren't exactly high, but there was a lot of interesting things on display. Alright, maybe that's a bit harsh, but let's start with their headliner, Deathloop. This is a sort of quirky Dishonored type game mashed with Groundhog Day and the personality of a Borderlands title. While I'm sure that sounds great to some people and conceptually I do like the idea, the more I see this game, the less I think I'd enjoy it. And this latest trailer really just helped me decide this is not something I'll need to pay attention to. I don't like the look of the gameplay and I really don't like our main character's personality. I still enjoy the concept, but I think I'd prefer if everything else around it was handled differently. In terms of time loop stories, I have way more hope for the upcoming 12 minutes. For me, the biggest highlight of this state of play was probably Moss Book 2, which looks about as interesting as the first, and I would probably play them if I had VR, but I don't. There was a Demon Slayer game shown off, which could have a lot of potential if it didn't just seem to be arena fights connected by empty hallways. We got a new trailer for Lost Judgment, which of course I am completely on board for. I really enjoyed the first and the second looks to be even better. A Death Stranding director's cut was shown off, and as much as I like Death Stranding, yes, I am one of the people who actually really enjoyed it, this director's cut looks kind of goofy. It adds a lot of new content, I guess, and new story missions, but some of the new stuff really just doesn't look like it fits in with the world. And with the world's cohesion being such a big part of the overall vision, I wouldn't be surprised if the new content actually hurts the overall experience. But I'll just wait to hear more on that one. The most interesting new IP revealed was probably Forged in Shadow Torch, otherwise known as Fist. Yes, the name is awful, absolutely terrible, worst thing since ARMS. But the game looks fun in the same sort of way an Oddworld game is. I also like that we're starting to see more mascot-driven games lately. It's a nice break from the teenagers and burly men that make up most casts these days. Other than that though, most of the games here looked either bad or just uninteresting. And being completely real with you all, there's probably not a single game here that I'm actually going to play. But I also know that these events don't usually cater to me and my type of audience. So I hope the intended demographics saw something worth picking up. I just didn't. But I did see something worth picking up elsewhere. So let's check out the next story. On June 30th, Spike Chunsoft, how are you guys supposed to say it? I don't even know, I always said Chunsoft. Anyway, on June 30th, Spike Chunsoft dropped the trailer for AI, or the Somnium files, NirvanA Initiative. NirvanA Initiative? You see? Yeah, I see what they did there. Get it? I see. The trailer itself didn't show too much, but we do have some story details. By the looks of it, we'll be playing as Mizuki this time around. Mizuki is now a special agent like Date before her and works alongside Aiba. It'll be interesting to see how that came about and how Date might have taken to it. The mystery this time seems to originate with the discovery of the left half of a corpse, to which the right half was found 6 years earlier. Only this newly found left half appears to have experienced no signs of decay in the years between. Definitely an interesting start to what I'm sure will be another excellent visual novel adventure. The game was announced for Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch, with special editions for all three consoles already available for pre-order. It says here quite typically, artwork not final, but this time I'm really hoping they actually changed the look of the box, as this just isn't doing anything for me. The special editions, however, will be coming with a model of Aiba inside, which is the kind of pack-in I'm all in for, though the figure itself has not yet been finalized or revealed. And therein lies the dilemma. Do I wait until we see the figure before ordering, knowing full well that they'll likely be sold out by then? Or do I gamble and risk getting a shifty product? I kinda wish they waited to reveal this, but it is what it is. And the last thing I want to look at today is more of a speculative topic. Some allegedly leaked information regarding the absence of Lost Judgment on Steam, and perhaps why the previous entry was Stadia exclusive on PC. So when Judgment first released here in the West and we didn't get a Steam release, I didn't think much of it. Simultaneous Steam and console releases aren't all that common yet for Japanese games, and this is a spin-off, so whatever, right? Maybe it was just gonna take a bit. But then we did end up with a Stadia release, which was suspect to say the least. At this point, I chalked that up to paid timed exclusivity from Google. I had no reason to suspect anything else, so I didn't consider it too much and assumed a Steam release would be coming later. Yet here we are now. The game still has no Steam release, and Lost Judgment is set to have no PC version whatsoever. So what's going on? Well, if we are to believe the rumor mill, a certain talent agency by the name of Johnny's may be to blame. This is the talent agency that Takuya Kimura belongs to, lead actor who plays Takayuki Yagami and whose likeness was borrowed for the in-game character's model. Takuya is a big star in Japan, and Johnny's is a large talent agency who tends to keep their talent under heavy lock and key, preventing local magazines and press from even using their photographs photographs, getting fan pictures scrubbed from the internet, and disallowing most of their talent from even having social media accounts. So I guess Sega done alright getting Takuya on the bill for Judgment, but unfortunately having Takuya on the bill means having Johnny's on the bill. And Johnny sadly seems to not want Judgment on PC at all. Apparently, despite all of Sega's attempts to negotiate with them, the answer seems to always be a resounding and firm no. PC has become a huge part of Sega and RGG's install base and marketing strategy over the past few years, and is considered by them to be essential for their flagship titles. Because of this, Judgment's forced exclusion from PC means Sega is considering the series potentially finished for the time being. But the question remains then, if Johnny's is opposed to their talent appearing on PC, why was the first on Stadia? And what exactly is their issue with PC to begin with? Well, we can assume maybe Johnny's didn't understand what Stadia was yet, and as such allowed it. Or they simply believe that mods were not an issue there. And therein lies the potentially smoking gun. Mods. Johnny's, as mentioned, likes to keep a tight grip on their clients. All use of their client's likeness needs to be okayed by them. On PC, where mods are easy and their models and talent can be modded into any manner of provocative, unbecoming, or otherwise generally uncontrolled displays, that iron fist they like to grip their clients with is like crumbling sand. Now, I want you all to keep in mind, this is conjecture, this is not fact. It sounds likely to me, and I have no reason to doubt it beyond innocent until proven guilty, but I can't help but feel there may be something to this. Now, if it turns out that this is accurate, that Johnny's doesn't want the game on PC as they lose their ability to control the use of their talent's likeness, well, I got bad news for you. The second it comes to light that this is what they fear, then they're going to see rather quickly how little control they actually ever had online. I fully suspect many of Johnny's talent and their company heads will be edited into rather unbecoming situations, and once those images, fanfics, videos, or mods hit the internet, they will be there forever, and they will circulate far and wide at a rate that can't possibly be stopped. Such is the nature of an online mob, and an online mob is certainly already stirring at the mere mention of these allegations. Now, it's not my intention to stoke these flames, so I will say once more, at this point, this is not a fact, and it's in everybody's best interest to behave accordingly. Hopefully, whatever is going on behind the scenes will reach an amicable solution before we have to see the full force of the internet bare its teeth. There are certain situations I don't really want to see my boy Yagami in, but if/when that happens, I'm certainly not going to be surprised, and Johnny should not be surprised either. Here's hoping it doesn't come to that. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave things today. A little bit of a short episode, but I think that's how I'm going to try and target these things going a little forward. If there's anything you missed, would have liked to see commented on, please leave a comment below. As always, folks, though, thanks for watching.